Alright everybody, welcome back to a new challenge. In this case, we are tackling the challenge number 16, and as the previous one, it is labeled as easy level challenge. So I hope it won't take us too long as the previous one. So looking at these instructions, I would say this looks like even simpler than the previous one. So I don't think so it won't take us too long. At least I think we can do it, I mean, in less than 30 minutes. So let's see if we are able to do it in that time. So these are the instructions. So the elves are working hard to clear path filled with magical snow. This snow has a special property. If two identical and adjacent snow fields are found, they disappear automatically. Your task is to write a function to help the elves simulate this process. The path is represented by a string and each snow pile by a character. You need to remove all adjacent snow piles that are the same until no more moves are possible. So the result should be the final path after removing all duplicated piles. So we have, as usual, a couple of examples. So the first one is, well, this letter that you can see here. Let me zoom it a little bit. So as you can see, we have 2x duplicated, and after removing that, we get 2z letters and followed by O and another Z. So we need to remove the new duplicated letters in order to have the final path without any duplicated letters. So basically the same thing in all the examples. And if we don't find any duplicated letter, we should return the string as it is. Okay? So I don't know if there is a direct way to do that only with the string value, let's say. So I'm gonna convert this into an array, or actually I'm gonna create an array that will be the I don't know, maybe we can call it as path with let me see, I don't remember how they called it. Well, let's call it as dirty path. Okay, I think I have to use the brackets. Okay, oh, actually path, because this is gonna be our clean path. Okay, so now we need to use, or we can use a for const loop in order to iterate the initial string, or the initial string, let's say. So the first element, let's call it as, I don't know, letter of the S, and S is gonna be those strings that we can see here, obviously, right? So let's use, for example, the first example like this, and let's try to iterate this string over here. So for that, I am gonna push all the letters that are not duplicated into that path array. So for that, I need to create an if condition, and I need to check first if there is no a duplicated letter on each iteration. So I think I'm gonna check if the previous character or element is not the same as the current one. So for that, I'm gonna use s, which is the string, and it will be equal to the path that length minus 1. So in the first iteration, it's gonna be 0 minus 1, and if we let me try to see what we get in the console. So let's imagine we have an empty string. No, it's basically this, okay? This string, and then what we are trying to do is to access to the first index, which is 0, because at the beginning this is empty, so the length is 0. So 0 minus 1 is gonna be undefined. So in the first iteration we are okay, this won't break, and we need to check if that is equal to the current letter. If it does, if that is true, I would say we need to remove the letter from the array if that is 6, obviously. So for that, I think we can do a path.pop in order to remove the last item from the array. And if this condition doesn't meet, we need to add the letter to the path. So it's gonna be letter. Okay. So in the first iteration, let's see. For example, in the first iteration, we will have something like this. The letter Z. Then in the next iteration, it will check if 1, because now it has one element, so 1 minus 1 is 0. So the first element of this array, which is the letter Z, have to be equal to the current letter. That the current letter in the second iteration is gonna be the X. So this condition won't meet, so it will jump to the else condition. So it means that it gonna what can I say? It gonna add the X letter to that array. So in the third iteration, it will be now 2 minus 1. 2 minus 1 obviously is 1, so the second element is X, and the current one is X. So as they are the same, I think it will pop these elements, and then we will have this. Now in the fourth element, or in the fourth iteration, iteration number 4, whatever, this condition will be equal to path length, which is in this case 1 minus 1, 0. So the first element will be Z, and it will try to compare against the letter of the current iteration, which is the letter Z. So they are equal, so it will pop that. So it means that the current array will be equal to this. Okay, so in the second or in the next iteration, the current letter will be the letter O, and 0 minus 1 is minus 1, so this is gonna be undefined, and this condition will not be met, I think, and then it will jump right to the else condition, so it will push the letter O. So now in this condition, we are checking the last letter from that string, which is the letter Z. Now the array has one element, so it means that the length of that array is 1, so 1 minus 1 is 0. So the first element, okay, I think I'm doing something wrong, because it should not be S. In that case, I think it should be path. So from the path array, we need to access, in this case, in the last iteration, to the first element. So the first element is O, and O, we will need to try to compare it against the last letter, which is Z. So as they are different, it will push that letter. So the final result will be something like this, given this string, obviously. So now we need to let's call it this as path array, so it is clearer, and then this const will be the actual path, and the actual path will be equal to path array join with an empty string. So this will be equal to an string of OZ. Okay, so we need to return path, and also let's do an early return over here. So if the string is undefined, let's make it more explicit, is equal to undefined, it will return an empty string. Okay, so yeah, let's see if that is working. Okay, awesome, we did it. So I am really happy that I was able to do it in the first try. I think this is the first time I do this. Oh, I achieved this, and I am really excited. Yeah, so thank you for watching me addressing these kind of exercises of the page Adventjs. So I will see you in the next video. Peace.